Hello and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian if you happen to be new around here, but if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, you magnificent beast. That's what you get for subscribing, by the way. Free compliments at the start of these videos. Now, what we're going to be doing in today's video is I'm going to be diving into my Steam Deck Final Fantasy XI configuration and settings, and almost in a way a controller guide as what I've got configured for Final Fantasy XI and kind of the steps that you're going to want to go through. Now, you will need to set some time aside to get Final Fantasy XI running on your Steam Deck, not because it requires a lot of setting changes, but it just requires a lot of time downloading. So over the course of 2 days, basically just checking in on it and making sure that it's still progressing, I was able to get Final Fantasy XI downloaded. The only reason it actually took that long is because I took my eyes off the prize and eventually kind of looked over and it turns out it timed out or something like that. So all in all, like if you're just kind of monitoring it, it should be very simple and sweet to get set up. But let's go ahead and fire up. I'm going to show you guys the settings that I've got and I'm using, and overall kind of walk you through kind of a setup process, because you will want to update the game to have access to the full set of features. Like if I hit play and I go into Final Fantasy XI config, you're going to want to have your game fully updated so that way you'll actually see all the options that I have available here. But overall, just get it installed and let's go from there. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump in. First and foremost, if you click on the controller settings, I'm going to show you some of the little things that I changed just to make my life a little bit easy. Overall, on the trackpad, I have it set up as right mouse and left mouse as a mouse with right click for the left hand side and right click, normal left click on the right hand side. I don't know why I think in that way, but overall that's just something that you want to go ahead and change. That's going to give you the ability to kind of click on things a little bit easier, especially when logging in, and I'll show you guys all that here in a second. So just easy to get into that. Click on the little controller, click on edit, and then you can go into your settings for your trackpad, and that's going to help save you all kinds of time. Now, under the settings system itself, I'm going to go into properties, and you can see here everything that I'm currently using. Under general, as a part of a new update that just released yesterday, you can say force resolution, especially if you're using an internal and an external display. That's going to be a huge help for you, but feel free to kind of play around with that if you so choose. Right now, at the time of this recording, I'm not having to use any force compatibility. It really just kind of works right out the gate. And overall, you can see here, size of local files is going to be around 8.16 gigs for Final Fantasy XI. Once you log in, and we're going to walk you through that process, you're going to want to update, like I said, and that's where you're going to want to come into your Final Fantasy XI config utility. Final Fantasy XI is a little bit different of a beast, and this is where the mouse trackpad, like I said, is going to come in handy for when you want to go and use this application. You can do the same setup for the play online if you want, but overall you're going to want to come in here and you're going to want to change your settings. So you'll see full screen. I've got it set to a resolution of 1280 by 800. That's going to take up the full screen's resolution for you, so you'll have that access to that. Now, you might have to scroll and do a little bit of shenanigans sometimes with that, but you can kind of play around with that. You can adjust your UI settings here. You can also adjust your image quality and presets, but this will also give you the ability to set gamepad settings. So if I click on gamepad settings, once you update, you'll have the ability to set enable X input. I was not able to get the left trigger and right trigger to register without doing so on the Steam Deck. But my general controller setup is select confirm is set to A, cancel is set to B, active window open options is set to Y, my main menu is set to start, my auto run is set to LB, my macro preset palette on left and right trigger. I don't have logout macroed. I have hide menus macro to the back button. I have heel lock on target set to the click of the left stick, and I have change view to, set to the right stick. So that's essentially kind of my default. And then I go into my movement configuration, camera, and menus. That's going to help you basically coordinate and make sure everything is working as you so choose. And that's a simple, easy setup. You can always play around with this config as much as you want. It's going to be very easy for you to get that up and running. Now, if you then look over here under the graphics, features, and others, you can kind of play around with a lot of the different settings to find the perfect fit for you. I'm not going to necessarily move too many things off of the default as I continue to play and test it myself, but all in all, I find that it works really well, and I'm very happy with how it ultimately looks on the Steam Deck screen. So let's go ahead and log into the game now and show it off for you guys. So whenever you come to log in or do anything of this nature, you need to press the Steam button and then press the X button to pull up your keyboard. And that's going to allow you to be able to enter in passwords. And again, using your thumbstick, your trackpad as a way to kind of get around is going to be very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in my password now, and I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, so here we are in game. I obviously have got the capture set up a little bit different in terms of resolution. So on the Steam Deck itself, at that resolution of the 1280 by 800, it fills up the screen very nicely. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time going through all of my settings and config itself to kind of find the perfect values that I've been using. But all this takes is essentially kind of, you've got that controller guide to be able to use. Obviously, I can move around. I can target anything by just pressing the A button. I can hit start to pull up my main menu. I can press Y to activate my different menus. I can press select to be able to hide my menus. I can press down on the right stick to be able to kind of heal and rest. And so I've got a lot that I'm really excited about to be back in Final Fantasy XI. And I hope this has been somewhat of a help for you. Hopefully you got something good out of this. And yeah, Final Fantasy XI running on Steam Deck right here. And here we go. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions, if you're struggling with get it to run, let me know in the comments and I can see if I can help you. You can always check out the Discord server or hit me up on Twitter as well if you have any questions, and I can see if I can assist in getting Final Fantasy XI running on your Steam Deck and obviously having a really good time with it. So lots to explore, lots to do. And if you guys have any tips of your own, sound off below. And yeah, we're gonna have a good old time. So thanks so much for watching. Feel free to like, favorite, subscribe, and share if you feel like this video earns it. It's gonna help it out in the algorithm of YouTube. And yeah, without further ado, I wish you all the best. I hope to see you in my next video, but until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with a clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.